Well, welcome everybody. I'm so excited that you have joined us today. If you're not here live, I've got lots of people that are wanting to replay. And so that's why I record these so that I can send it off and you can learn from what we're studying today. So thank you for showing up. And I am just so excited about sharing this with you. I worked on, or what we're going to talk about today. I kind of got the idea to do it right around Thanksgiving. And so I kind of like woke up in the morning and it's like, okay, I need to write this down. So it just combines a lot of the stuff that I talk about normally, but I just thought this was a great way to introduce it. So I wanted to share with you something that has so much value um, for you to live your best life possible. And it's a proven system that gets results. So I'm a holistic Christian health coach, helping women in their 40s to 60s to discover that root cause of their health issue, and by identifying and clearing toxins, pathogens, and traumas impacting your health. And then I help you implement anti-aging techniques to help your body thrive. So if so if you're watching the replay, please drop a comment, a like, or to share it with more people that really need to know this information. So that way we get the word out. So my story is that I was recently reading a book called Good Energy, and it's written by Casey Means. And she's been featured on different podcasts with like Joe Rogan, Tucker Carlson, and many more. And she was sharing what doctors don't tell patients about infertility issues. And that if they were to eat healthier, then they would be able to get pregnant and not have infertility, which is a chronic illness. And that's when it struck me. Oh my gosh, my infertility that I had was a chronic health issue. I never thought of it that way. I just thought, okay, it's my problem. So I remember a little bit of how I ate when I was trying to get pregnant. And I have to admit, I was trying to do good, but it wasn't great. I also remember that I was in an incredible amount of stress at work. And I just remember the doctor saying, well, you just need to breathe. And I'm like, well, how does that? So anyway, um, so um, so in reading that what she said, I realized, you mean I didn't have to spend $44,000 in IVS treatments just to have the doctor shrug at me and say, well, I don't know what's wrong with you, which really left me with no path to take and just like kind of shooed me out the door. So at that point, I really became determined to discover why I was not getting pregnant and what steps I could take to get my health back on track. So I discovered this healing modality and what it could do to help me to get better in many different areas of my life. So I made it my mission to help women empower themselves by taking care of their health so they don't have to live through the pain and frustration of chronic health issues. And that could be in their 30s, the 40s, their 50s, and beyond. I help a lot of people in their 60s and 70s have the best life ever because as they deal with aches and pains and things like that, there's a way to work on those. So it's my passion to teach what I have learned to others so that they can thrive and have health too. And so they can stop being stuck in a system of sick care and they have the freedom to choose what is best for them and their families. So a testimonial to kind of throw in here is that I was working with a client named Bill, and every fall he would go out and start cleaning the leaves out in his yard. And he would always discover or start having high blood pressure, and he would start panicking because it's like, oh, what do I need to do? What do I need to take? So we discovered that as he picked up the tools to work in the yard, they had a bacteria on it that would get into the skin and cause issues. We also found that in the process of cleaning up the leaves that he would get bit by spiders. And sometimes those spider bites bring in bacteria and they would impact his vagus nerve, which is linked to lots of different organs of the body, but one of them is the heart. And so that would make his blood pressure high. So after clearing those bacteria and clearing that spider bite with the bacteria, everything would go back to normal. So I want to talk about 4 steps today and break down a little bit more about what I do and how I help my clients. So I have a 7-step process that identifies toxins and pathogens that are causing chronic illness. So number one is I'm kind of explaining, how it worked for me. So as I've already mentioned, I had, infertility, and now I have a wonderful 18-month-old son that's thriving. I've also had many health symptoms through the years that this healing modality has helped with. So relieving pain and having a fast healing from a broken leg. It's helped me with identifying and clearing fungal infection, parasite infections that were leading to weight gain. I got pneumonia after having a really stressful time in my life, and a lot of times lungs are grief, and so I had a lot of grief, and so I got pneumonia with the stress, and so I took some medications to get rid of it, but that led to side effects, a lot of times fungal in the lungs, and so I use this modality to help clear my lungs from that medication. It's helped me with bladder infections, cold and flu symptoms so that they would heal quickly and I didn't have to, live in yuck for 2 weeks or so. Clearing traumas from the passing of my mom from Alzheimer's. And that's just to name a few. So how I work, or how I want it to work for you, is to find the answers to why you are dealing with a health issue and what steps you can take to get your health back again. So who is this healing modality for? It's for people that want a pathway to get their health back on track. It's for people that want to make changes to clear the blocks that are holding them back from having phenomenal health. So another testimonial is I worked with a client that was also named Jody, and she called me in dealing with anxiety and also, again, high blood pressure. It seems to be an issue that we work with a lot. And we discovered that her most stressed organs were her vagus nerve, again, to the heart and also to the colon. She also had her adrenals were very high in functioning and her adrenaline was overrunning. So she had a lot of anxiety. So we discovered that she had eaten 5 foods that had bacteria on them and that they were bothering her digestive system and her neurotransmitters, which are both in the gut and the brain. That were also leading to anxiety. And she had gotten a bite that had 5 bacteria that came in with it that was impacting the adrenals. So a lot of times when you get a bite, it will impact your joints, your muscles, your ligaments, tendons, your connective tissue. And so if you have any kind of joint pain, things like that in the shoulders, the arms, the knees, I haven't seen so much hips, but there's always someone out there. But anyway, so bites will impact that, and it's the venom that's stuck in those areas. And so we have a way of being able to clear that. So she had gotten these 5 bites, and they were causing her adrenaline to run and also her adrenals to be over functioning. So she was in an anxiety state. So once we cleared these toxins and the pathogens, her blood pressure went back to normal. So how would it feel to be empowered and in control and understanding your why behind your health issues in a matter of 60 minutes? And that's really how long it takes. How would it feel to know that the tools, or how to know the tools that you can use to get your health back on track? Because we share with you the different tools that you can work on your own. So in other words, if you feel like, hey, I ate something and I don't really feel so great, we give you a tool to be able to help clear that ingested. Let's say you do get bit by something in the yard and it and it's kind of itchy. Well, we have a tool that will help you clear that injectant. So what makes my healing modality different than all the others out there? First off, it's God-centered. The second is it identifies exactly the toxins and pathogens that are bothering your body. Third is that it clears them in an instant. So your body, what the body can see, it can heal. And number four, it's kind of like Jesus did with the centurion in Matthew 8:8 in the Bible. So that's what makes us unique. To learn more about this healing modality, sign up for a one-on-one 15-minute Zoom call with me. And we'll go over, what are the things you're dealing with and how this modality will help you. And that gives you a little more information step by step that I can share with you than I can on kind of this initial Zoom. So that's my 7-step program that I've done for the last 19 years now. And it's been so phenomenal in helping people get to that root cause of their health issue. So the next step is, like I said, introducing things that are anti-aging that help you thrive. So the first one is we want to make sure that your body has good signaling between the cells and its ability to detox. And so a lot of times, we struggle with detox, especially like after the holidays and trying to get all that stuff out of our body. And you may have, some genes like MTFR that are causing you to not be able to detox well, or you might just be aware that you don't detox well. I also have another client that says, well, no, I don't notice anything. Well, her body wasn't detoxing, and so therefore she didn't notice anything, but she wasn't getting well very quickly. And so her detox was off. So we have lots of different ways to help with detox. So I wanted to share with you one of the ways that we use the signaling in order to help you heal. So let me do a screen share. Okay. Let me double check. I don't know if you can see that. I want to make sure you can see that. Okay, let me start it over because I want to make sure. There we go. Okay. All righty, let's see here. Um, There we go. Stop sharing. There we go. All right. So that's one product that I have found to be very helpful in helping the body detox. And it's almost like it helps the cells be able to flush out the things that shouldn't be there. As we deal with autophagy and apoptology, I think it is, that those things can kind of get stuck. And so we're moving those on through. So testimonial of what I have used it for is they also have, besides the drink, they also have a gel. And I like the gel because then you can use it a little bit more like on your skin. So right now I'm using it on my dog because she has a couple skin tags. And so I put the gel on those skin tags and then I add DMSO to help it go through the skin in order to help that area heal. It also helps with skin rashes. I've used it for what do you call it? What do you call it? Scabs and scrapes and things like that. It will also help if you have, some kind of a shoulder issue or some pain, you can put it on the gel on there and rub the DMSO. And if there's any, the spider bites and bacteria that's in that area, you can also help it clear. So that's another great way to use it. So the third product that I really find helpful in helping the body do with anti-aging or also to help regenerative medicine is something called stem cells. So are you familiar with stem cells? Yes, great. All right. So there's a stem cell product that I have used that I found to be very phenomenal. So let me do the share again. And we'll pull that up here. It's hidden. Let me just pull that up. Okay. So I have used the stem cell patches in many different ways. And a testimonial that I've had is in dealing with pain. So they have a patch that helps with pain. Well, over Christmas, I developed kind of a pain in my jaw. And what I discovered through the healing modality that I do is that I had received a dental procedure a couple years ago, and it was starting to, it was starting to interact with the teeth. And what I found is that I had the dentist look at it, he said, you're fine, you don't have a cavity or anything like that, but I was getting significant pain. I've never had pain in my teeth before. And what it was is that anesthesia, when they put it in, it had mold, or it had it on the needle as it went in. And so I had this like mold field stuck in my jaw area, causing my teeth to hurt. And so what I would do is during the day, I would put the X39 patch, which helps with stem cells. They have a patch called Eon, which helps decrease inflammation. And so I'd put those on top of each other onto that area where it hurt, and it would help the pain dissipate through the day. At night, I would put the Renew 28 from ASEA on that area with DMSO, and so it would get into that area and start clearing out that old pathogens and toxins that were in that area. So I used those two together to get rid of the pain, and sure enough, and also, you know, the healing modality to all three of those to get rid of that, and so it went away naturally. So that was so great. So if you have any kind of pain in joints and things like that, they have a ice wave patch, which you can put on where it hurts, and then you put it on the other side of a joint, and it helps alleviate the pain so the body can start repairing, but you don't notice that you have pain every day or that day. And so a lot of times I've put it on, let's say if I had a little bit of back pain, I've put it on, and within 15 minutes, you forget that you had an issue. And that way your body's in the process of repairing it while it's not having to live in pain. So it's a great way to help with that. So the next way, so we talked about the 7-step process of finding and identifying toxins. We've talked about the 2 different ways that regenerative medicine that can really help the body heal at the same time that you're getting the body to, you're taking things off of the body so that it can work on healing too. The 4th thing is that those are all physical things, but we also have a non-physical. And I think every issue sometimes has a non-physical issue that the body's trying to teach us, or the universe or God is trying to teach us, like what we need to know better about ourselves. And so that is about clearing traumas. And so we all have sometimes old traumas that get stuck in our system, and we A, to maybe not know it's there, or B, like I said, we're trying to learn from it. So we have a specific trauma code that helps with that. So I'm going to share my screen again and bring that up. Let's see here. Let me, it helps if I move. Let's see, I'm going to move this over here. Do this one. Okay, go back here. All right, let's see if I can get this to work this time. Let's see, I want to do this one. Okay. All right, and I want to do, I moved it down. All right, so now I'm going to share full screen. Okay. So I think if I do that, it won't be in the way. If it's still in the way of that, let me know. All right. So stress, anxiety, and trauma creates a physical and a non-physical response in our body. Trauma sometimes overwhelms the nervous system and its capacity to process the experience. And so pieces of that experience are left in our unprocessed, frozen behind in our body. And so anytime the flow of energy goes through those same areas, the person will experience that trauma symptom again. So I want to give just a quick demonstration to kind of show how that happens or how we deal with it. So I want you to think about a situation that has stress or has an anxiety that you've had to deal with. It could be an emotional pain, a trauma in your life that still, when you think about it, you're like, oh, you know, it gives you a lot of issue. Okay, so think about that, and I want you to rate it on a scale from 1 to 10. So, Susan, do you have something that you've thought of that you could work on? You could just raise your hand if you do, because you're on mute, so I can't hear you. You could unmute yourself if you want.
Yeah, sorry, a little slow when it comes to, thinking of something right away. I was thinking of something, and then you asked me, and I was like, "Whoa, wait a sec." Uh, I guess it's the trauma of, like I said, taking on somebody else's energy.
All right. So think of a time that you took on somebody else's energy. Okay. All right. So, and you can follow along with me. So we're thinking about, and on a scale from 1 to 10, where would you put that? Like it helps
Would I,
intensity.
where would I find it in the body, as an example?
Yes, or just like when you think about like how intense that was is it like a 5 or a 10 intensity?
When I take on that, it can be as high as a 10, or yeah, it's
All right.
quite painful. Yeah.
Okay. So think about that, and then we're going to walk through this together. Okay. Uh, all right. So I've got the points on the screen. You may be aware of, let's say, like EFT, and this is kind of a form of EFT because this treatment, the technique that I do, which is quantum techniques, is a cousin of EFT, if you know that, or tapping. And so these are some treatment points that a lot of times are like EFT, but this is our particular trauma sequence that we have. Okay, so just follow along with me. So we're thinking about starting at the eyebrow, and so you just tap on the eyebrow, and then you do index finger, and then you do little finger, and then you do side of hand, and then start of the eyebrow, under the eye, the middle finger, the side of hand, the index finger, outside of the eye, and then under the arm, and then collarbone. Okay. Looks like you're familiar with EFT, so that's good. All right. All right. So then just take a deep breath and then think about that situation again. And where is that now when you think about it?
On a scale of 1 to 10, or a
Yes.
situation in my body,
Yeah. On a scale from 1 to 10.
with an 8.
Pardon?
Number 8, an 8.
Today. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and go through it again. A lot of times when I'm doing this with a class, I do have to do 3 and 3, but I'm just kind of giving a quick example so people can see. So go ahead and we'll do start of eyebrow and the index finger, the little finger, the side of hand, the start of the eyebrow, under the eye, the middle finger, the side of hand, the index finger, outside of eye, the armpit, and collarbone. Okay, again, take a deep breath. I like your deep breaths. All right. So where would you say you are now when you think about taking on other people's energy?
I'd hop it down to a 6. It seems to be coming down by twos.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think there's the fear of doing that because it's happened so long in my life. So, yeah.
Yeah. And so I want to kind of give a quick example of how to clear these kind of traumas in your life. And we use this kind of like tapping and or different acupressure points or points on the meridian system, which correspond to different organs in the body, to help the body clear what it's been dealing with. And we can use this with non-physical, we use it with toxins, we use it with pathogens. So this is an example of the kind of treatment that we do. I was also going to say that 2 things that are really helpful if you take on people's energy is, 1, to wear purple. And a lot of times you could wear a shirt, or you could just wear like a bracelet. Like I have like a purple bracelet that I wear that helps me not take on people's energy. If it's really intense, I've actually had it on both wrists and also both ankles and worn it. Another thing is, and Susan, this would be a great idea for you to put your name in the chat, and I can send you a great video on how to protect your energy. and I've used it so much. It's a great way, and it really works. I had a situation where I was with a lot of wind, and wind was a trauma is for me. And I put my energy shield on, and then had to go deal with, a, I was working in a office, and the wind was all around me, and it even reversed my phone. But I had all my energy. It never took any of my energy. So it's one of those things. You're like, wow, man, that really works. So yeah. So put your information in the chat, and I can send you that video. So that's an example of how negative energy or trauma is stuck in our body, and we can use these tapping points to help let it go and get rid of it. So we're not taking it on, holding it, and keeping it. All right, let me just see here. I'll figure out how to get out of, there we go. Okay. There we go. I think he's wanting to do the audio. Okay, great. So I've given you a couple tools and examples of what this modality is, how to have regenerative medicine, how to clear traumas, or how that modality works. So I know that this holistic approach of helping your body heal resonates with you. So you are ready to find answers, so you do not have to, so you can stop that chronic illness symptoms and not have to be living with issues. I'm always surprised at even my dad. He's like, oh, this hurts, that hurts. And I'm like, okay, I don't sleep well. And it's like, okay, you don't have to live with these. These are things that can be solved. And sometimes we think, oh, well, that's just aging. And it's like, no, there's ways to have better health always. So a couple testimonials is that, I worked with someone named John, that after taking anxiety medications for more than 15 years, after just 2 hours of working together, he had no more anxiety. And I wanted to mention that anxiety a lot of times is because of foods. And that can also be the case for bipolar. And it can also be the case for diabetes. There are certain things that drive bipolar, anxiety, and diabetes that if you don't eat those things, then the symptoms go away. So that's what we do, is we identify what those toxins are that are creating those symptoms. I would also say insomnia is also helped by the different foods, because if we eat too late at night or don't have enough protein in our bodies, which is something my dad does a lot, that you don't sleep very well. So you need to make sure your blood sugar is balanced. And so that's something that we can help you with also, and finding out what that is. Another testimony is I worked with someone named Mary, and she healed in only 2 months of fatigue and fibromyalgia after trying more than 100 traditional and alternative therapies for over 25 years. So that's why I'm saying we heal in an instant, because what the body can see, then it can heal. A lot of times it just has been hidden by spider bites, or just not knowing what's there and what needs to be cleared. Because if you're always eating a food that's bad for you, your body's not going to be able to be in a healing state. I worked with a lady named Lori, which had chronic migraines, and they have not returned after 6 months. And she said it was the best money she'd ever spent, because now they're over and she can enjoy life again. So what is your next steps? It is to sign up for a 15-minute connection call to learn how to get your health back on track. And so we can set that up by just leaving sending me your email, putting it in the chat. And that way I can set up a time that works for both you and me. So during that one-on-one connection call, we will find out what you're dealing with, and then find out how this modality can help you, and get some of your questions answered about what this modality is about, and like I said, how it can help you. So I'm excited to have you get your health back on track and no longer live with chronic illness, or that way you can feel empowered and step into the life that God wants you to live. So it's time to experience this health modality because it is something to be experienced, not just explained. And I do my best to explain it, but it really is an experience. So I'm excited for you to get started, and I look forward to working with you. So thanks for listening to the replay, if you're watching the replay, and thank you, Susan, for being here. I can turn, but anyway, so yeah, put your information in the chat and I can send you that video. And I will go ahead and stop the recording. And I'm just so grateful for everybody to be here today and to listen. And I look forward to next month's Zoom. All right. Oh, and I do have, I do have a Facebook group that you can join to learn about more information. I share more videos and things like that. And that's Chronic Illness, the Root Cause. And so that's my Facebook group. So I would suggest signing up for that. I was going to mention that. So, all right. So blessings until next month, and I'll go ahead and turn off the recording.